So I thought I'd break it down and give a little bit more detail. So watch this video through because I think it can be really helpful. I'm going to give you some real life examples or break down with some numbers and stuff like that. So first, let's start with an example. Let's say that you were buying a house for $1.2 million. Up until now, you weren't able to get mortgage insurance or put less than 20% down. So the minimum down payment on a $1.2 million house is $240,000. Now, let's say you don't have that amount and you can only put less. I'm going to give you 3 different examples. So at 5% down, your down payment is $60,000. At 10%, you're at $120,000, and at 15% down, you're at $180,000. Now, when you're putting down less than 20%, you're going to have an amount of mortgage insurance added on to your mortgage amount. So, for example, at 5%, that amount is just over $45,000. So that number gets added on to the total amount of mortgage that you're going to have. Now, what I really want to talk about is how this affects your payments. Because I know the hardest thing to do when buying a house is saving up for that down payment. You know, whether it's a few hundred or even $1,000 more or less a month in your monthly payment might be a lot easier to manage than saving an extra $50,000 or $100,000 or $150,000. So watch this. For our example, with a purchase price of $1.2 million, with 5% down, your monthly payment would be roughly $6,682 a month. With 10% down, your monthly payment would be $6,276 a month. With 15% down, your monthly payment would be $5,910 per month. And if you put 20% down, which has no mortgage insurance added to this, so just a typical mortgage, your payment would be $5,411 per month. So that's, what are we talking? $1,000 or $1,200 a month maximum between the 20% and the 5%. So for that difference, with, you know, a difference of $120,000 or $180,000 of cash in your down payment. So that can be a huge difference for a lot of people. Managing $500 or $800, $1,000 a month is a lot different than saving $100,000 or $150,000, like I mentioned. And where this can really come into play, and I think is so important, is if you're looking to buy a house in neighborhoods, depending on where exactly, but let's use, you know, North York, for example, where you could buy an old bungalow that might cost $1.2 or $1.3 million. But that bungalow needs some work. It needs some renovations. It's run down. Now, instead of taking the whole $240,000 you may have saved or that 20% down payment, you could say, hey, I'm going to use half of that and take $120,000 and put it down. You'll have a little bit of a higher payment per month. And now you have $120,000 to take and do some work and renovations and updates to the house to make it what you want and to make it your dream house. So I think this is one of the reasons, or two of the reasons, why I think this is such a huge factor that could influence the real estate market moving into 2025, because it does open up different areas and different segments of the market to potential buyer groups that weren't able to get into those areas and those housing types before. I hope that helps. If you have any questions, shoot me a message and I'm happy to talk further. But otherwise, have a great day.